Hi, it's Rob the Frugalist here, and I'm here with Charlie of charliesbimmers, and we are going to look at changing the glow plugs from a diesel. This should be a fairly DIY type task. Charlie's the expert, I'm not the expert, but before you start it's good to get an understanding if it is actually indeed the problem. So what we've got down here is an OBD2 device, and we've got some codes on it, and if you have a little look here you can see it is a P062 cylinder 2 glow plug circuit open. So we think there's a problem with the glow plug. When you change glow plugs, it's good to change them all together rather than one by one, because they'll probably go out in a similar time, and it's good to get them all done at once because they're not that expensive at all. So we're going to look at how to do that. Okay, Charlie, what tools do we need for this?
So if you wanted to, you could have some set of pliers to take the plugs off the back, but we're just going to use our fingers. To take the actual plugs out, we've got a 10mm double depth socket. Could have triple depth if you wanted to. We've got a long extension bar and a ratchet on the end. You need to torque these plugs up at the end, so
yep.
It gets torqued up to about 18 Newton meters. However, we don't have access to a torque wrench, so we're just going to nip them up to maybe 1.5 white knuckles, which should keep them seated in place.
What do you mean by white knuckles?
So as you start pulling on, your knuckles get progressively whiter and whiter and whiter until you break it off or crack it in the block. But we don't want to over tighten them, but yeah, don't really want to crack them off.
Nice one.
We're also going to be using some copper grease to lubricate the threads. This is high temperature, high pressure, and because the glow plugs are going to be in the hot area of the engine, we don't want them melting themselves to the block and then breaking off when we take them out next time.
How much does copper grease cost?
Like less than a tenner from Euros.
Nice,
so
nice one.
Really cheap. And then if you find that they're completely welded into the block, some WD-40.
Good old WD-40.
Should
Nice.
sort you out.
Nice one.
And if needs be, I've got some rust dissolver in the boot of my car if things really go south.
It shouldn't know with that though, should it?
No, you don't know.
Newish car. Nice one.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go.
Onwards.
First thing.
So, first things first, second things second. Engine cover needs to come off. This is really simple to take off. You've got 4 poppers, 1 in each corner. Just grab a corner, pull up. And then the engine cover should come off as such. See on the underside, got 1, 2, 3, 4 poppers and your corresponding spigots in the engine bay. So just set that down to one side. Location of the glow plugs. You've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 cylinders going from left to right. These are actually in a really handy location. Definitely not the hardest ones that I've ever taken out. To make access easier, to make these a little bit freer to get out, you can undo these clips just by pulling towards you, and they should just come up. There we are. And then as soon as we move these out the way, it will give us a little bit more access for movement. So this one as well, that could come up. Yeah, sound. We'll worry about this end one in a minute. Well, we'll do it now. Shift it. There we are. So now that should move up and out the way.
Nice.
Next, need to take these leads off the back. So these are our electrical connectors. This is where a set of pliers could come in handy, just to come and nip them over. But if you're careful, like me, I'm always careful, you could just move electrical connector, get your fingers in underneath, and just try and pull up on it. Well, do this one first. There we go. 1.
How hard are you putting on them?
Fairly. Just because they've got little, see in there, you've got a tiny little retainer.
Yeah.
So that it just clips over the end of the glow plug. I'll show you when we get the new ones out. But yeah.
So the glow plugs we've got here are these Bosch ones. Close in, you can see in there, there's your glow plug right down there. there. Okay, we've had a little bit of a clean of the top bits. We're taking out 1, 2 and 4 and changing those. 3 is a special one which we're going to leave in situ. I think that's a bit much more expensive plug, but that's not where the problem is, so we're going to change all 3. So what's next, Charlie?
So we're taking the back of the leads off. They're all just hanging, minding their own business. I've got my 10mm double depth socket.
Okay.
We're just going to go onto the back of the glow plug in the gap. Make sure we're locked on. Apply pressure with one hand and just turn and crack it off.
Okay.
And it should just come out. But what I'm going to do is crack off all of them and then take them out. Just so that we don't get any problems. They're all good sounds.
Okay, so they're all loosened now.
Yep. Everything's cracked off. I'll take my ratchet off and spin it round. Easy money. As soon as we get to the one point, we should just be able to drift them out.
There we go, glow plug.
One glow plug. All that dirt around there.
Oh yeah, that's what we were trying to clean earlier, just to be safe.
Two.
Two.
That's the problem, Charlie.
That's the problem one.
Keep that
And
one
you can
separate.
see this one has got, looks like it's
Burnt.
a little bit more burnt. So this is the problem child right here.
Buddy's overheated.
This is plug 1.
That's number 1.
There we go. Thank you very much. So you can see this is why we changed them all at once, because they are not all perfect and they're going to eventually go anyway. So while you're there, may as well get the other 2 done. Right.
Right, 3 glow plugs. We'll just put them in one at a time. I'll leave one, get it in, leave one, get it in. Start threading it in. In fact, where's the old ones?
Here are the old ones.
Yeah, that'll do.
Check. Yep, close enough. Look identical.
Bosch again, so
Yeah, they're both Bosch.
connections will do. Sweet.
Fine.
Right, just going to get some of our copper grease. It won't kill you, don't worry. And then just get it on the threads. You only really need it on the threads. The copper grease acts like an anti-seize, so that the next poor soul that has to change these doesn't have a nightmare getting them out, so they don't seize up in the block. So now you don't need to, you could wipe it all the way around if you want, but as soon as you start threading it in, it will start to distribute it around all the thread.
Great.
Just to make those people happy.
Right, let's go.
Yeah, let's get it in. It's easy enough. So, got it in the end of my socket, and then as you go in, try not to touch the sides. As soon as you're in, start twisting. As soon as we're tight, we'll go back to our white knuckles. If you have access to a torque wrench, 18 Newton meters. If you don't, it'll be about there.
Okay, and that is nice and firm in.
Yeah, so you're in tight, you try and move it, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
And that ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Time to get the other 2 in.
Yeah. This is number 1 going in. One white knuckle. Good.
Straight and level. Golden.
And after this, it's caps back on and start.
So, final step is get our plug caps, and you want to push them on until you hear a click. Should be a fairly positive click at the end. If you come in nice and close. I clicked on, but there we are.
There we are, click. 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 The top's click back.
Cancel. Cool.
Nice one.
Shall we?
Should we try it now?
Yeah.
Engine off, right?
They should be able. Well, when you start it, I don't think you get an
It's
engine
not going to
code.
knock this off. Well, I think the engine code will still be there until you clear it. But as it starts, it's a good thing. So, moment of truth is we're going to try and deal with this. So let's have a little look. We have a car that starts. Engine light's still on. That's because we've still got the ODBT2 code. So I'm going to raise that code. Yes. Erase failure. Take it. So
It needs to be in position 2.
Yeah. Hold on. Right. Erase code. Yes. Erasing codes. Turnkey. Oh, it says turnkey on with engine off. It says turnkey on engine. Press any key to continue. Read codes. No codes are still. Oh right, it did work. It did work. Right, so we have the code off. Alright, it's still got it on there. So. There we go, the engine code is off. Hooray! Thanks to my nephew Charlie of charliesbimmers. Like and subscribe, hit stuff. Right, last thing is put the cover back on.
Get it all lined up with your oil cap.
Nice, good job. Well done, Charlie.
Sick.
So here are 3 of the plugs we took out. Now you can see that this one is the problem one, and as these aren't looking great, it's a good idea to change them both. Obviously there are 4 in there, but one is very different, number 3. We didn't realise this before starting, but that's a very expensive one. It doesn't tend to fail and is built in differently, so we did not change that one, which is why now when you try and order these from Euro Parts, is it comes in boxes of 3, which always kind of confused me. Why are they coming in 3 instead of 4? So this is why. Unfortunately the error code was of the one which is less expensive, so that's something to bear in mind, and I'm going to go and hopefully get a refund from my spare glow plug that I've got, unless they all fail and I've got a spare one then, haven't I? But I might have paid through the nose for that. Anyway, hope that's of useful to you guys who are looking to fix the glow plug error on your car. And again, don't forget to subscribe to this guy's channel. He is full of really useful stuff for fixing cars, particularly his BMW, which is a rocket.
In theory.
In theory, it's a rocket. one of SpaceX rockets, the early ones. I don't know.